What up? It's Jimmy from odds.com. This is a clip from our big NCAA March Madness tournament breakdown of the East region. To check out the entire show, hit the link at the bottom of the screen. It's available exclusively on odds.com. We move on. 12:45 p.m. Eastern. UNC Greensboro Spartans, 21-8. Versus number 4, Florida State Seminoles. Tough matchup for Greensboro. Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. Florida State opening up as 11-point favorites. That's moved to 10.5 at almost all the books. This total opened up at 145.5. There hasn't been much movement. You can get it at 145. You can still get it at 146 if you shop. UNC Greensboro has won 4 straight and 6 of 7 to close out the season, leading the way to their SoCon title. In the final, they defeated Mercer 69-61 to earn the school's 4th tournament berth. 2-time SoCon Player of the Year, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, Isaiah Miller scored 25 points, grabbed 12 rebounds, had 6 assists. The senior averaged 19.3 points, 6.9 boards, 4 assists on the season. He's the only Spartan to average double-digit points. Second leading scorer, Keyshawn Langley, averages 9.8 points, 3.4 assists. The Spartans score 73.6 points per game, only turn the ball over 11 times a game, but they struggle with their shot. They hit 42.4 from the field, 30% from 3, and 68.3 from the foul line. After exacting revenge on the Tar Heels in a 69-66 triumph in the semifinals of the ACC tournament, the Seminoles played very sloppy ball and gave the game away in the finals to Georgia Tech, 80-75 as 4.5-point favorites. They shot 56% from the field, 53.3% from 3. Should have been enough to win the game, but they lost due to 25 turnovers. Adding to that, Georgia Tech only turned the ball over 7 times. You're not going to win many games when your opposition has an 18 turnover advantage on you. MJ Walker leads the team, averaging 13 points per game, hitting 44.4% from 3. Raekwon Gary next, averaging 12 points per game, adding 6.5 boards. Scotty Barnes rounds out the group, averaging 11 points, 4.2 assists. This Florida State offense is very strong. They average 78.9 points per game, hit 47.4% from the field. A very impressive 39% from 3 and 73.8% from the stripe. Tricky spot here, Max. 12:45 p.m. Eastern. UNC Greensboro Spartans, Florida State Seminoles.
Yeah, Jim, I think that the problem with Greensboro is that they never really played anything like what they're going to see in the non-conference. I think that when you look at this Florida State team, they got multiple 7-footers that can defend in the pick and roll. And what is Greensboro going to need to do? They're going to need that pick and roll. I think that Scotty Barnes, this is where you came to Florida State, for this stage, for this opportunity. You need to do more than the incredible work you've been doing on the offensive glass and on the defensive end when taking the ball away from guys. At 6'9", you're a point forward that's able to distribute the basketball, score the basketball inside, and use that size advantage that you're going to have against most defenders, whether it be your quickness or whether it be your height. I think that with Scotty Barnes, you need a standout performance from him. I think that when you look at this group, Anthony Polite, that's the guy that's going to go off from 3. He's probably your best 3-point shooter aside from MJ Walker. I like, obviously, Sardar Calhoun, the junior college transfer. He, at 6'6", definitely has some good size. And then our fellow Canadian, Tanner Nagome, the 7'2" Ryerson transfer, he's just been playing fantastic in his limited minutes, knocking in free throws, 68% from the field. I'm just so happy when I see Canadians playing basketball at the Division I level, and this is no exception. I think that from a talent, size, physicality perspective, it's going to be very hard for UNC Greensboro to combat that. Listen, they do have some good size in Abdul Salam and Hayden Koval, but the problem is they're just so reliant on transition scoring, on scoring off second chance opportunities. And I don't know if their press and their ability to take away the ball against Southern Conference competition is going to translate against Florida State. I think that when you looked at their most comparable non-conference game that they played was Winthrop, and they lost by 12 in that game. I think Florida State is head and shoulders better than Winthrop. But that's another conversation for another day. I think that when you look at UNC Greensboro on defense, the problem is when they're pressing, they do not recover into position if you break that press. And that's going to end up in a lot of buckets for Scotty Barnes breaking down the defense, going coast to coast, or making 1 to 2 passes, and that's going to end up with a layup at the rim. So it's not a good matchup for Greensboro, in my opinion. And then you throw in their weakness on the defensive glass. Florida State State's going to be able to really find their mismatch, exploit it, and they just got to avoid the turnovers because the turnovers have been killing them, And with that extended pressure, they're going to have to definitely switch a lot and be able to recover. It's the same thing with Greensboro, but I have a lot more faith in Florida State being able to execute that system than what I've seen out of Greensboro. You got to get on Greensboro early. You got to be able to hit a couple 3-point shots. We have seen Florida State be able to do that. You got to own the defensive glass and that ball distribution. You got multiple ball handlers, multiple guys that can freaking find easy opportunities at the rim for your teammates. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think that when you look at Florida State, they're only +5 by my numbers in the first half. So depending on the number, maybe Greensboro you take in the first half, but I don't think that they hang around for 40 minutes. I think that with Florida State, that's the one knock that you can really look at their game logs and be like, yeah, well, fuck. Do you see how they play in second halves? Like playing 40 minutes sometimes is a challenge for them. But at the end of the day, Florida State is still the better defensive team. They are still the team that is going to be able to limit 3-point shooting opportunities for this group in guys like A.J. McKennis and Antonio Algieri and even to an extent Keyshawn Langley, But pack the paint, cut off lanes to drive the basketball, and win the turnover battle. And I think that you can cover this number. What's the number that you can get on the first half, Jim? And I will decide based off the number where I want to go with it.
All right, well, let's shop because I was just moving back to full game, and I thought, you know what, maybe I should keep it first half. Here we go. We have a 6 at Bet365, -110 juice each way. Let's see here very quickly. Here we go. And we have a 6 as well at BetMGM with Florida State at -105, NC Greensboro at -115. Then, does that entice you at all?
Yeah, listen, Jim, we're going to go with Greensboro +6 in the first half. If they're going to have any success in this game, we're going to know early, and we're going to go by the number, not by the teams, guys. So let's go by the number. The number says at 6, you take Greensboro, and that's what we're going to do.
All right, I'm just going to try a couple more books to see if I can get you any better than that here. Let's go.
It is worth noting, though, at this point in the video, guys, the filet mignon, the lobster and steak, the woman in the bikini with the manicured butt is serving you cocktails. Yeah, it's that type of the show. It's that time of the show, excuse me. It's those type of games. We got the heavy hitters coming up.
Yeah, boys. Absolutely beautiful stuff coming up without a doubt. Okay, +6 at -110. We can get you the -110. It's available at Circa and FanDuel. So let's lock you in. Wow, I was very curious to see what you would do on this. UNC Greensboro first half +6 at -110.